As I'm firing at the enemy from alternate positions, they think you're shooting from the same old spot, polishing that firing point. But instead, you're pointing the barrel right at them.
Welcome, everybody. Today we're on the Donetsk direction and continuing our series of talks, a conversation between machine gunners about machine gunning. Please introduce yourself.
My call sign is Chas. I'm a sergeant in the 47th Mechanized Brigade, Magura.
With us today is the Browning M2.
The M2HB, the heavy barrel variant. Important distinction.
And as they say on TikTok, first, what is it? And second, why do you want it?
I consider it one of the greatest creations by American weapons designer John Moses Browning. It's rated to engage targets up to 2,600 yards. From my experience, I've shot it out to about 2,100 to 2,200 meters, and it's easy to use at those ranges. It's not heavy. The gun itself with the barrel is 32 to 33 kilograms. The original tripod is about 20 kilograms. So the full setup is roughly 52 to 54 kilograms, not counting ammo. A 100-round ammo box adds another 16 kilograms, not light. When you look at this weapon, you realize American quality is brought to a cult level. Absolutely perfected.
I know you name each machine gun. Why? What's this one called?
To me, a gun is not an object but a living being, so it needs a name. My first Browning was Fedorovich. Everyone thought it was named after General Zaluzhny, but no, it was for my grandfather. He was a machine gunner in World War II in the Soviet Red Army. This one I named for a woman, Katerina Volodymyrovna. She came on her pre-retirement tour.
If you've also named your weapon, tell us in the comments. We'll like and highlight the most original ones. Go ahead. Let's talk fortification, your favorite subject. It's rarely in machine gunner manuals. How do you build a proper firing nest for this gun? How many positions are needed? Should they be covered or exposed?
You must conceal your Browning. Even a single light MG has to be hidden. It's a priority target. For drones, snipers, enemy gunners, they all look for it. If fighting in urban areas or industrial zones, we set it up inside a room. Don't stick the barrel out of a window. Keep it inside so you're unseen. The tripod isn't tall enough on its own. You build a stand or platform.
You mentioned fallback positions. How many? How far from the primary?
It depends on your sectors of fire. If the arc is narrow, fallback spots can be 50 to 100 meters. You can place one just 10 meters away. Once you've fired and hear incoming or sense something buzzing overhead, you move.
How much ammo is comfortable to have on position?
I carry 1,500 rounds in the vehicle, armored or NEVA from SSO days. No official requirement, but that's what I learned in practice. Covers are essential. I never used them before, but you need them. At Avdiivka, it iced up overnight. Rain, then morning freeze. And the gun was frozen solid. You have to thaw it out. Warm it up because the barrel is stuck in the mount.
Do you carry a field cleaning kit?
I do. Every gunner should have a kit or toolbox. I have 2 bags. One has rangefinder, compasses for azimuth, angle measuring tools, levels for setup. You need these.
Let's shift to maintenance. How do you clean it? Some old-timers use diesel or gasoline, but what do you use?
This gun loves maintenance. First, it must be well lubricated. If it runs dry, for instance after 500 rounds, trouble follows. You grab wipes, clean it, lube it, wipe it, and you're set. Ready to fire again. The ammo feed cover and latch need attention. The barrel insert into the receiver must be spotless. The bolt mechanism has many parts. Springs, moving surfaces. A proper gunner has dirty hands. If their hands are clean, they're not a real gunner. They should be oily. That's normal.
Shooting from covered positions was new for me.
It's firing by coordinates or azimuth, unseen by the enemy. So they don't see you. You fire behind cover, say a berm. You're 500 meters one way, a kilometer the other. You fire from behind that berm 1.5 kilometers and the enemy thinks you're shooting from the open. You're giving them the finger. You can also shoot through a house, revetment, or dam. These are covered positions. You need a spotter at the front line or second or third in the team. A spotter is essential without a drone or camera. I've put in a ton of rounds through these methods. I've fired crouched, sideways, lying prone. True grit, that's work.
You've shared a special view on training gunners. How long to train a true specialist?
In my estimate, at least 3 months. And there's nuance. They bring 15 recruits and say, these are the gunners. You need to turn them into real gunners. From those 15 you look, the ones who light up, like seeing a pretty girl, those eyes light up. That's the one who sees the gun and says, this is mine. This is mine. That's Daisy. Or Buck. Or Old Bastard. You know he's it. From those 5, you train 3. And only one will actually be able to fight. That's how selection works. Most of them, after training, will only be able to shoot from a covered position. They'll be technical, competent, they'll know everything, but they might still be afraid to fight. Some are scared to fire a machine gun, even from behind cover, just because they're afraid something might hit them. There are people who ask me, aren't you afraid to die? I tell them, everyone's afraid of dying, but don't confuse the fear of death with the fear of fighting. All shooting and manipulation is done lying down. If a tree is in front but you're already prone, you need to crawl forward.
Today we spoke with a real machine gun tiger. I learned a ton of interesting stuff. If you're also a machine gun tiger, drop us a like and a comment.
Take care of yourselves, your second guns, your commanders, your weapons. That's how we'll win. We will win anyway, but without machine guns, it'll be tough.
Слава Україні! Героям слава!
We've got another video about the M2 Browning over on Weapons of Victory. Go check it out.